Welcome to Food Stories, where every dish has a history. We explore the rich stories behind iconic foods, tracing their origins, cultural impact, and how they're made. Join us in discovering the fascinating journey behind every bite. Picture this: a cacao pod, thick, rough, and the size of a football, being split open with a swift stroke of a machete. Inside, encased in a sweet pulp, lie the seeds of a treat so beloved that it is consumed on almost every continent and across nearly every culture today. These are cocoa beans, the foundation of chocolate, a delicacy whose journey spans millennia, from ancient Mayan ceremonies to high-tech factories producing millions of tons each year. Chocolate, as we know it today, is the result of centuries of cultural evolution, agricultural refinement, and industrial innovation. Its origins date back to at least 1750 BC, when the ancient Mayans and other pre-Columbian civilizations of Central and South America discovered the secrets of the cacao tree. To these ancient peoples, chocolate was more than just a treat. It was a substance imbued with sacred and medicinal properties, often used in rituals, offerings to gods, and even as currency. But how did this bitter, frothy beverage of ancient civilizations evolve into the smooth, sweet chocolate bars we find in every corner store? Our journey begins with the Mayans, the first to cultivate the cacao tree and unlock its potential. Nestled in the tropical rainforests of Central and South America, the Mayans were lucky enough to inhabit a region where the cacao tree could thrive. The cacao tree, however, is not easy to cultivate. It requires a very specific set of conditions: a steady temperature around 25 degrees Celsius and humidity levels of 80% or higher. These conditions are typically found only in regions near the equator, a limitation that has shaped the geography of chocolate production to this day. Even now, more than 70% of the world's cacao comes from countries along the equator, particularly in West Africa, which produces the bulk of the global supply. Cacao cultivation, much like in the days of the Mayans, remains a labor-intensive process. The cacao pods, which do not fall from the tree on their own, must be manually harvested. Workers carefully cut each pod from the tree to avoid damaging the delicate branches, and then, one by one, they open the pods to extract the cocoa beans. At this point, the beans are still covered in a sticky white pulp and look nothing like the chocolate we know. The next crucial step is fermentation. The beans, along with their surrounding pulp, are placed in special fermentation boxes, traditionally covered with banana leaves. The beans are left to ferment for several days, during which time the white pulp slowly breaks down and drains away. Fermentation is not just about getting rid of the pulp, though it's essential for developing the beans' characteristic color and flavor. The natural sugars in the pulp begin to react with oxygen, and the chemical composition of the beans transforms, paving the way for the development of the familiar chocolatey taste. After fermentation, the beans are spread out in the sun to dry. This step is vital not only to reduce moisture and prevent mold or bacterial growth, but also to enhance the flavor. The drying process, which can take about a week, results in the beans' final form before they are ready for export to chocolate manufacturers around the world. Once the beans arrive at factories, the journey of transformation continues. First, they undergo inspection to ensure they meet quality standards, and any defective beans are discarded. The remaining beans are then roasted, a pivotal step that brings out the full flavor of the chocolate. During roasting, the beans' moisture content is reduced from about 7% to just 1%, and a complex series of chemical reactions takes place. These reactions involve over 300 different compounds in the beans, which begin to interact and form the distinctive taste and aroma associated with chocolate. After roasting, the cacao beans are cracked open, and their outer shells or husks are removed, leaving behind the cacao nibs. These nibs are the purest form of cacao and are what give chocolate its richness. The nibs are then ground into a thick, dark brown paste called chocolate liquor, though despite its name, it contains no alcohol. If the chocolate is destined to become cocoa powder, the liquor is treated with an alkaline solution to mellow its flavor and prevent clumping. Large amounts of fat, known as cocoa butter, are extracted from the liquor, leaving behind a solid material that can be ground into cocoa powder. The extracted cocoa butter, however, is not wasted. It plays a crucial role in making chocolate bars. When making chocolate, the cocoa butter is mixed back into the chocolate liquor, along with sugar, powdered milk, and other ingredients, depending on the type of chocolate being produced. This process, known as conching, ensures that the mixture is smooth and free of graininess, giving chocolate its creamy texture. The final steps in chocolate making are tempering and molding. Tempering is a meticulous process in which the chocolate is slowly heated and cooled to achieve the perfect consistency. This step is essential because it influences the formation of crystals within the chocolate, giving it a shiny appearance and the satisfying snap when broken. Once tempered, the chocolate is poured into molds to create bars, pralines, or other confections. After the chocolate sets, it is inspected to ensure quality, and finally, it is wrapped in foil or paper packaging to keep it fresh. It's remarkable to think that this intricate process, from the hand harvesting of cacao pods to the industrial precision of modern chocolate production, produces something so universally beloved. Today, the chocolate industry is worth over $50 billion annually, with some 3 million tons of chocolate consumed every year. Yet despite the scale of production, the essence of chocolate remains rooted in the ancient traditions of cacao cultivation and the careful attention to detail required at every step of its journey. Interestingly, as the chocolate industry continues to innovate, there has been a growing movement toward organic and sustainable cocoa farming, a return in many ways to the practices of ancient cacao cultivators. Organic cacao farms, such as those in Costa Rica, avoid the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, or fungicides, relying instead on natural methods to manage the health of the trees. Farmers use grafting techniques to ensure that disease-resistant and high-yield varieties of cacao are grown, often grafting new branches onto older, less productive trees to maintain a sustainable crop. These organic farms take special care during every step of the process, from strategic pruning to control the shape and health of the trees, to carefully monitoring the fermentation and drying of the beans. By avoiding harmful chemicals and fostering biodiversity in their fields, organic cacao farmers hope to produce a superior product while minimizing environmental impact. From its humble beginnings as a ceremonial drink in ancient Mesoamerica to its status as a global commodity, chocolate has undergone a dramatic transformation. Yet, even as modern factories churn out millions of chocolate bars daily, the core of the chocolate-making process remains steeped in tradition, from the careful cultivation of cacao trees to the artisanal crafting of the final product. The next time you unwrap a bar of chocolate, take a moment to appreciate the journey those beans have traveled from the hot, humid rainforests of the equator through a meticulous process of fermentation, drying, and roasting to the glossy, snap-worthy bar in your hand. Thank you for watching this video. You're joining a community of food lovers who care about the origins, the stories, and the passions that bring our meals to life. You'll travel to distant kitchens, meet culinary legends, and unravel the mysteries behind the meals you've always loved but never fully understood. So hit that like button if you're ready to dive into a world where food comes alive, and subscribe to Food Stories for a front row seat to the most delicious tales ever told. Because here, every dish tells a story, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single one.